This is a video for a Honda Civic. It's a 1.8 EX GT automatic. Car's a 2009 with just 23,000 miles from new on the vehicle. Benefits from a wonderful service history, which is detailed in the advert of the car. Finished in Nighthawk Black. Obviously, being this 09 plate, this is the facelift version, so you get the new style grille on the front. But obviously, being this specification, this is absolutely top of the range. So you've got a full black leather interior, sat-nav system, panoramic roof, and tons of other bits and bobs on the car. We'll just go around the car for you. So near side of the car here, lenses are all really good. Just go down that side there, just see just how crisp the panel work is. I mean, you'd expect it to be in good condition, and it certainly is. Front tyre, got tons and tons of tread on it. And it's a good Bridgestone tyre. Alloys in absolutely superb condition as well. Just come back along, but it really is very crisp in the panels. Rear tyre, again, Bridgestone to match the front. Again, loads of tread, and the alloy wheels absolutely superb. Come around the back of the car here. Got colour-coded bumpers. So colour-coded parking sensors on the car, which so they don't stand out too badly, but it's all very clean and crisp. Again, likewise, it is pretty much mirror smooth down this side. I can't see an imperfection in the paintwork, no indentations or otherwise. It's got a full set of Bridgestones, and again, they're all very good, but just to show this alloy on the side, absolutely unmarked. It is in absolutely beautiful condition. And this final wheel. Again, Bridgestone tyres, finish it all off, and alloys, again, I tell you what, managed to let the side down. It's got the tiniest little bit of curbing just on there, but overall it's in very fine order. And lenses on this side, again, completely unmarked, and there you can see the new style grille, which shows it is a facelift. But overall on the exterior, the car's in absolutely wonderful condition. Coming into the boot area, all in beautiful condition, as is the rest of the car. Power outlet up there, 60/40 fold on the rear seats, but all the carpeted areas, all the plastics are absolutely spot on in here. Parcel shelves there, all good and intact. And you've got this little hidden recess on the Honda. Just pull this up, and you've got this extra little stowage area, or if you pop that back, drop it down, then you end up with a good 6 or 7 inches extra boot space in there. Coming inside the car, rear door card on the offside of the vehicle, absolutely unmarked. And then coming to the rear, you got obviously the leather seats. Apologise, it's a beautiful sunny day, which we shouldn't moan about, but does play havoc a little bit with the videos that I do. It's sort of the light and everything, but it really is in fabulous order back here. All the plastics are wonderful, and you've got these back of the front seats, again completely unmarked, and they haven't been kicked around or otherwise. Obviously on the Hondas, you've got these, what they call these magic seats. If you want to, you can just pop those up. If you're trying to do it with one hand, it's rather difficult. And just leave it up in that vertical position there. And it does the same on both sides, and exactly the same to drop it back down. But very clever design. A huge amount of rear legroom in these cars, which makes them very popular with families. Coming to the front of the car now, driver's door card, again, really top condition. Obviously, being a facelift model, it comes with better quality plastics than the earlier ones. So things like these areas here, finishing like a sort of a tungsten-y or metallic-y finish, but they're much more resilient to, or resistant to, scratching. Sill area is all very good, and you've got this driver's leather seats, absolutely superb condition, it really is. Come across to the passenger one, likewise. Pretty much looks like a brand new seat there, but it's in wonderful condition, as is the rest of the car. Just quickly pan up here, excuse the pun, you've got panoramic roof, press the button there, and that opens and shuts perfectly. Alright, so inside the car now, engine running. Just to quickly show you, it's got the full owner's manual pack and original lock and wheel nut key for the car as well. But the whole interior is in absolutely super condition, it really is. Obviously EX spec, so you've got this, the sat-nav system as standard on the vehicle. Just come down here, obviously automatic gearbox, and as I said, this is the full automatic version of the car, not the I-shift of the earlier models. And then you've got heated seats, buttons there, just low, All works absolutely perfectly. I tried these out this morning and they're all absolutely spot on. But the whole dashboard's in really, really fabulous condition. It really is. Coming across, hopefully you can see that. So the engine is running. Just trying to, so 23,160 miles. No warning lights on the car. You can see the rev counter running there as well. Fantastic two-tier dashboard. I can't say it, two-tier dashboard even. But everything inside the car has been kept in really, really top condition. You've got power folding mirrors as well on the EXs here. So just press a button there, and you can see them all working exactly as they should. But the whole car has been kept in the condition you'd expect, which reflects the mileage of the vehicle. This is the road test for a Honda Civic. It's a 1.8 EX GT automatic. Car's registered RO09XZN. Mileage at the start of this brief road test is 23,153 miles. Basically, the reason we do these road tests now is because we're selling to people from all over the UK and also the near continent as well. We feel as though it's really right that if you're going to come see one of our cars, then you can see it in operation prior to you coming to us. And obviously, if there's any issues with the car on the road test, I can tell you about them, and then you can make up your mind as to whether it's going to be worth a trip to us or not. Hopefully so. What I try and do is to mimic what you'll do on road test yourself, and just go through them one by one for you. Obviously, if I miss anything out, apologise, and do phone us, and I'll remedy that for you. So what I always start with is the engines, of course. This is the Honda 1.8 VTEC engine. Absolutely brilliant engines anyway, regardless of mileage almost. This car's been very well looked after mechanically. Clearly, with just 23,000 miles on the clock, it's not even run in. They say that Honda engines don't really run in until they get to about 40,000 or so. So it's still, a very young, very fresh engine on the car. But with that in mind, I still check them. I mean, basically, there's no warning lights on for the engine or anything else for that matter, as you'd expect. Engine starts absolutely first turn of the key. Very, very quiet and smooth revving. Idles absolutely evenly. There's no fluctuations there. There's no noises from the engine bay that shouldn't be there, or from the engine itself. The engine then drives through to this automatic gearbox. This is now a full automatic gearbox on the car, so it's not what they call the I-shift. So this basically goes back to a conventional torque converter gearbox. It's very, very smooth shifting. Being a Honda gearbox, they're incredibly reliable, but what they've got about them, which I really like, is they've got a really nice shift quality to them. It's clearly a very well engineered unit. I mean, Honda's domestic markets are clearly Japan and America, where they sell them by the bucket load, and they demand automatics, and so they've got to build them well. So you generally find that they're over engineered. We just don't. I don't want to tempt fate, but we just don't really have issues with them. They're a wonderful, wonderful unit, but it works really well with this engine. And what it does, it gives you accessible performance, but what it also gives is very, very good economy. You're still looking at 40 or so to the gallon out of these automatics. But it's just lovely for tootling around, town driving particularly, obviously, it takes the strain out of driving. But as an engine and gearbox combination, I can't fault it. I can't find any obvious wear or any signs of wear in it at all. Not that you'd expect to, given the mileage of the car. Tracking on the car, absolutely dead straight. There isn't a hint of a vibration to the steering wheel. The steering is lovely and precise, as they always are on the Civics. It's a brilliant, brilliant steering setup on the car. But what I tend to look for on test drive, the same as hopefully you do yourself, is when you drive a car, sometimes when you hit a bump, you just feel a little bit of motion after you've hit the bump, and that suggests there might be a bit of wear in track rod ends or ball joints or things like that. But there is none. There's nothing at all. It feels almost like brand new. It's unbelievably precise. The steering is just so nice on the Civics. It's very quick to respond. There's no slack in it at all. It's very dynamic, and when you combine it with the suspension of the car, which again, I love it because I think it's on the right side of firm. Some people criticise it for that, but I think it's perfect. You know, softly sprung cars can be initially very nice, and you think they're very comfortable, but after a few hours of driving, you know, particularly with kids in the back, the motions you get can be quite unpleasant, whereas this is very direct, very dynamic, and there's far less body roll on these than its competitors. But when you combine that with the sharpness of the steering, you've got a really dynamic car to drive. Suspension wise, again, it just goes about its business absolutely perfectly. There's no noises that shouldn't be there. You can obviously hear it going over bumps, clearly you're meant to, like that one there, which is a horrible one. But what I'm not getting is any sensation of any, again, sort of these little aftershocks where there might be little anti-roll bar links chattering away underneath where it's been bashed about driving around towns, but there's none. It just has an absolute tightness and tautness about the drive of the car. It's you know, it's as a drive, I cannot fault it, and trust me, on previous videos I have criticised cars, you know, normally sort of cosmetic stuff, or you know, stuff that's easily remedied. But if it's there, I'll tell you. But you know, you're not going to be coming any distance and saying that you should have said this or should have said that, because there is nothing. Braking wise, just going to give it a quick sharp jab on the brakes, make sure there's nothing behind me. Yep, lovely strong pedal. It's again, when I'm hitting the brake pedal, what I'm listening out for is obviously sort of crunching noises or scraping, but also on the brake pedal, if you can feel any kind of pulsing through the pedal, that can that may suggest you might have a slightly warped brake disc, or you know, worn discs, and that manifests itself, especially on automatics where you know the braking system's taking up a lot more of the strain. But the brake pedal's exactly the right point on the pedal itself. It's, you know, it's at the top. It's not over servoed on the Hondas. I hate too sharp a pedal. It can make for, you know, really unpleasant driving. Just put my foot down there, just show you. Kick down, goes through perfectly, and again. So all the functions working well. Very, very sweet revving engine. As I'm driving at speed here now, I'm also listening out for things like wind noise that shouldn't be there, you know, where you might have a windscreen seal that's perished or otherwise, or you know, ill-fitted windows or sunroofs, and it's absolutely as it should be. It really is. Looking around the dashboard itself, it's all in very, very fine order. The car's only just been delivered, and we've not valeted it at this stage, so you're seeing it exactly as it came into us, but obviously it'll be given a full valet before it goes onto the forecourt, and I'll do my walk around video. Dashboard itself, you know, for fear of repeating myself for the millionth time, you know, I absolutely love these dashboards. This is the EX spec, so it's the busiest of all of them. So you've got this nice big control knob in the middle here, which tells you it's got sat nav. Sat nav is mounted exactly the right position, nice and high in the dashboard. Pixelation's all perfect. There's no fading on the maps at all. Works absolutely perfectly. And in terms of, you know, ergonomics and driving, you know, it's just in the best position of all. I just want to do something 1 second, if I may. Just going to go to the climate control system. We've got to, let's go to mode. I just want to check the air conditioning actually whilst I'm driving the car. I always do. And yeah, that's lovely cold air coming out of there. So yeah, air conditioning's got plenty of charge in it, which is good. So I like to do those whilst on test drive, make sure it's still there. Yep, that's absolutely fine. But as a dashboard, as I say, it works so well. It's beautifully made, and obviously because this is the facelift model, there's a few revisions. They improved the plastic quality on a lot of the dashboard. This part here, which was previously shiny, looked very good, but when people put their hands on it, you could get marked quite easily. It could look grubby and a bit scratched, a bit like, you know, surface of an iPhone or something like that. But that's all in really lovely order. Just so lovely and simple to use. Best part of the dashboard from my point of view is this part here, which is this 2-tier dashboard. So basically what you've got is a really nice high up speedo readout, basically means as I look at the car in front now, I can still see the speed I'm going as I'm driving along without having to tilt my head downwards to try and kind of get that information in or assimilate it. But it's big, bold, it's absolutely so easy to assimilate that information. It's a brilliant design. And then down below that you've got your normal or more conventional binnacle, although even on this one it's got this slightly hologram effect where it seems to come out towards you, which harks back to the old Preludes. So you've got a really big dominating rev counter there, and in the middle of that, information display. To the left you've got the your gear indicator, tells you what gear you're in for the automatic, and then to the right we've got the fuel gauge on the vehicle itself. And as I said, there's no warning lights. All the perspex plastics, looking through there, absolutely clear, no marks on those at all. Steering wheel of the car, obviously multifunction steering wheel, and we've got it in really fine order. Lovely thick rimmed leather bound steering wheel, really nice to hold, and it's quite small in diameter, so when you're turning from lock to lock you're not flailing with your arms around all over the place. But everything here, all the painted parts of the plastic are completely intact. There's no discernible wear in it at all. I mean, it just shows how beautifully built these cars are. But on these you've obviously got your audio control top left, cruise control top right here, information display down here, and hands-free and voice activation controls on this side here. But everything I'm looking at in here, it is a used car, so there will be somewhere in the car, somewhere, if you excuse the pun, but you're gonna have to look very hard to find it. It's in really, really lovely order. I can't detect a hint of a squeak or buzz from trim inside the car, and they really are beautifully made cars. Basically there, by the way, I've just come over junction 14 of the M5, which is where you come off to us now, because we've now relocated to this really lovely rural location. Basically, if you're coming to us, you'll be driving on lovely quiet roads, as I've just done this road test on. This, ironically, is rush hour, still between 9 and 10 o'clock in the morning. It just doesn't really get that busy around here at all, so it makes test drive so much more relaxed than it was previously, even at theoretically rather busier times of the day. But when you're coming off the motorway, depending on your sat navs, actually we've found a couple of people have told us that their sat navs have told them they've arrived a bit too early, a bit too late. But just as you come up the road here, literally only 30 seconds off the motorway, on my right hand side, just coming up now, is this big sort of 10-12 foot Victorian wall. It's a beautiful wall. At the end of the wall where it stops, you'll see a sign that says, I think there's a cafe sign normally, just coming up in a second, and this is the entrance to Tortsworth Business Park, which is where we're now located. It's got a lovely arboretum, so as you're making your mind up, you go for a little walk, a nice cafe to grab yourself a bite to eat, and it's just a lovely tranquil location. And we're delighted to have moved out here after years of being in Bristol. We're still very close to it, but it's like being in a different world. But anyway, so I hope I've covered everything for you. If I haven't, then please do call us.